The story begins with a girl named Rita, who spends most of her time alone, deeply absorbed in horror movies. Interestingly, she reacts to terrifying scenes with laughter rather than fear. To an outsider, it might seem as if she is watching something lighthearted or humorous instead of films filled with tension and frightening moments. However, her reaction is not a sign of indifference or amusement in the usual sense. In reality, her laughter is a coping mechanism, a way for her mind to release the emotional pressure she constantly carries inside. At school, Rita's everyday life is far more frightening than anything she sees on screen. Her classmates bully her relentlessly, judging her appearance and treating her cruelly. They humiliate her by placing trash in her desk, hiding or stuffing paper into her shoes, and even recording her reactions when she becomes embarrassed or scared. These videos are later used to mock her, spreading laughter at her expense. Over time, Rita becomes emotionally numb to fear-based entertainment because her real life already contains more pain than any fictional horror story. One evening, while browsing for something new to watch, Rita discovers a content creator named Resita, who focuses on beauty, self-care, and self-acceptance. Resita encourages viewers to embrace their natural appearance while also taking care of themselves and enhancing their confidence through grooming and skincare. For the first time, Rita listens carefully instead of ignoring such messages. Something about Resita's words resonates deeply with her. Inspired, Rita begins experimenting with self-care. She starts by creating a simple face mask to hydrate her skin. This small action becomes the beginning of a transformation. The next day, she takes a bigger step and goes shopping for cosmetics, choosing brands recommended in Resita's videos. Like many beginners, she has no real understanding of how to apply makeup properly or which shades suit her best. She simply imitates what she has seen online, hoping for the best. Although her early attempts are far from perfect, Rita does not give up. She understands that improvement takes time and mistakes are part of learning. Gradually, she becomes more interested in makeup and begins enjoying the process itself. What started as basic eyeliner and concealer soon evolves into a full collection of beauty products. She experiments with different styles, trying to discover what works best for her face. Her transformation does not stop there. Rita also begins changing her hairstyle, learning how different cuts and styles can influence her overall appearance. She eventually replaces her glasses with contact lenses, which further changes how others perceive her. With each step, she gains more confidence and begins to understand how presentation can affect self-esteem. Eventually, Rita transfers to a new school, leaving behind the environment where she was bullied. On her first day at the new school, her parents are stunned by her transformation. They can hardly believe how different she looks, almost as if she is a completely new person. Her beauty surprises them so much that they momentarily wonder where the shy and insecure daughter they once knew has gone. At school, Rita immediately attracts attention. Students stare at her in admiration, impressed by her appearance. For a brief moment, she feels as though she is finally free from judgment. When she enters her classroom, the reaction is similar. Everyone is fascinated by her presence. However, it is not only her appearance that draws attention, it is also her confidence. She walks with her head held high, showing a new sense of self-assurance. Despite this external change, her insecurities remain beneath the surface. At home, when she removes her makeup, she is confronted again with her natural skin condition, which still includes acne and uneven texture. This contrast reminds her that appearance is not as easily changed as she had hoped. It also highlights the temporary nature of cosmetic transformation compared to deeper personal struggles. During a family conversation, Rita learns that her brother is dealing with unwanted attention from several girls, which overwhelms him emotionally. Her mother asks about her first day at the new school, and Rita responds enthusiastically, claiming everything went perfectly. However, her older sister makes a cold remark, suggesting that she hopes no one discovers her real self. In contrast, her father expresses unconditional love, reassuring her that she is valued regardless of her appearance. Outside, Rita continues to hide her insecurities. Wearing a hoodie, she avoids being seen without makeup and visits a horror-themed shop owned by a man named Zoka, where she often buys books and collectibles. There, she waits for a new book release, but a boy arrives before her and takes it. This boy later becomes significant in her life. He teases her slightly, though without cruelty, and unintentionally becomes aware of her natural appearance. At school the next day, Rita becomes anxious when approached by unfamiliar students. To her surprise, she discovers that the same boy from the bookstore is now in her class. His name is Sean, and he even sits next to her. This unexpected proximity makes her nervous, as she worries that he may recognize her from before. Her friends tease her, suggesting she is lucky to sit beside him, which only increases her anxiety. Later, Rita confirms to herself in the restroom that no one knows her secret and carefully adjusts her makeup again. After school, she believes Sean has already left, but he suddenly appears and returns a small charm she dropped earlier. At that moment, she realizes he does know about her appearance without makeup, which makes her even more uneasy. Meanwhile, another girl named Shira watches their interaction from a distance. She appears jealous as she also has feelings for Sean, but he does not pay attention to her. Rita begs Sean not to reveal her secret, but he responds ambiguously, leaving her uncertain about his intentions. Unbeknownst to them, another student named Yun overhears their conversation. Soon after, during physical education class, Rita becomes physically exhausted while trying her best to participate. Sweating heavily, she notices that her makeup has begun to smudge, revealing her skin imperfections. Panicking, she rushes to the restroom to fix her appearance, trying to reassure herself that everything will be fine once she restores her makeup. When academic rankings are released, Rita is surprised to learn that Sean ranks first in the class. Yun appears again, and it becomes clear that there is tension between him and Sean. Their interaction hints at a complicated past relationship, possibly once involving friendship that ended in conflict. Rita becomes curious but is warned not to dig too deeply into their history. Later, Rita encounters Sean again at the horror shop. He casually greets her, joking about her low ranking in class. The shop owner notices their interaction and realizes they already know each other. Despite their teasing, they begin discussing shared interests, discovering that they enjoy similar books and stories. This unexpected connection makes their relationship more complex and less hostile than it initially seemed. As time passes, Rita continues balancing school, part-time work, and her growing emotional confusion. She begins to rely less on makeup as emotional protection and more on her developing confidence and relationships. However, her past bullying experience continues to influence how she perceives herself. Tensions rise when former classmates recognize her at work and begin harassing her again, mocking her appearance and recording her. Rita is overwhelmed by memories of her past trauma. At that moment, Yun unexpectedly intervenes, defending her and warning the bullies to stop and delete the recordings. His presence intimidates them and they quickly leave. Although grateful, Rita remains emotionally shaken. Sean observes this situation from a distance, showing signs of jealousy or concern. Yun, on the other hand, advises Rita to stand up for herself in the future, emphasizing dignity and self-respect. He shares a warning based on past experiences, implying that revenge and hatred only lead to destruction. Eventually, Sean invites Rita to meet him urgently. Expecting something meaningful, she prepares carefully, doing her makeup and dressing with anticipation. However, instead of a romantic moment, Sean takes her to a haunted attraction where he helps her face fear and learn self-control under pressure. Although the experience is chaotic and frightening, Rita finds it surprisingly joyful and memorable. Later, misunderstandings and emotional distance begin to form again due to unexpected interruptions and lack of communication. Rita struggles with confusion about Sean's true intentions, while he remains emotionally complex and difficult to read. In parallel, Rita also begins helping others, including a coworker who lacks confidence in herself. Through makeup and encouragement, Rita helps her see her own beauty, reflecting Rita's own growth and evolving understanding of self-worth. The story continues with Rita navigating friendship, identity, insecurity, and emotional growth while learning to balance appearance with inner confidence, ultimately discovering that real beauty is not only what is seen on the outside, but also what is built through resilience, courage, and self-acceptance. After the events that previously unfolded, Sean later apologizes and clarifies that Ren is actually his younger sister. He explains to Rita not to be surprised by his family's financial situation, adding that his sister is independent and lives life on her own terms. However, during this conversation, Rita notices a photograph showing Sean together with Yun and another person named Kdrama as part of the same music band. The moment Sean realizes she has seen it, he quickly takes the photo away and firmly tells her not to look at it again, clearly uncomfortable discussing the past. Shortly afterward, Sean uses the opportunity to ask Rita to accompany him while he chooses a birthday present for his sister. This small request brings them into another shared moment, subtly strengthening their connection. At school the next day, Rita and Yun engage in a casual conversation, appearing relaxed around each other. From a distance, Sean observes them, and it is obvious that their closeness bothers him more than he wants to admit. Shira notices Sean's reaction and tries to take advantage of the situation, suggesting that he should forget about Rita since Yun seems to be the one closer to her now. However, Sean dismisses her words coldly and walks away, refusing to be manipulated. Later, Yun passes by Rita while she is not wearing makeup. He does not recognize her natural appearance and walks past without acknowledging her. While this moment relieves Rita, knowing her secret remains hidden, it also causes her emotional discomfort, reminding her how different she appears without cosmetics and how dependent she has become on them for confidence. That same day, Sean visits the horror-themed shop again, but this time he seems hesitant and prepared to leave quickly. Rita notices his hesitation and stops him before he can go. Gathering courage, she opens up about her painful past, revealing the bullying she suffered at her previous school. She describes how cruel her classmates were and how deeply it affected her self-esteem. Hearing her story softens Sean's attitude significantly. He tells her that the problem was never her appearance or personality, but rather the cruelty and insecurity of the people who hurt her. He reassures her that he will stay by her side and not abandon her again. The following day, Yun appears visibly unsettled after overhearing a group of girls gossiping that Sean and Rita make a perfect couple. While sitting alone with his thoughts, Rita approaches him excitedly and tells him that her friend Ren has successfully obtained the role of Juliet in a school production. Yun responds by saying that the credit actually belongs to Rita, since her makeup skills helped Ren gain confidence for the role. However, when Rita continues mentioning Sean, Yun warns her to stop focusing on him and instead think about someone else, implicitly referring to himself. This creates an awkward emotional tension between them. Meanwhile, Shira continues observing their interactions from afar. She becomes increasingly jealous, frustrated that both Sean and Yun, two highly admired boys, seem emotionally connected to Rita rather than her. At one point she approaches Yun and suggests they work together since they supposedly want the same thing, to separate Rita from Sean. Yun, however, rejects her immediately, telling her he has no interest in childish schemes or manipulative behavior. As the school festival approaches, students from different schools gather for the event. On this day, Rita stands out more than ever, drawing attention from nearly everyone around her. Even Yun finds himself unable to ignore her presence, showing subtle admiration despite his usual composed attitude. On the other side, Shira meets with the two former bullies from Rita's old school. She instructs them that their goal is to expose Rita's true face to everyone, proving that she is not as perfect as she appears. She is determined to ruin Rita's reputation publicly. After students change into festival outfits, Sean is seen walking alongside Rita. Observers immediately assume they are a couple and rumors spread quickly. Surprisingly, most students do not object. Instead, they believe the two actually suit each other well, encouraged by the atmosphere. Rita even asks Sean to take a commemorative photo together. A classmate then hands them a flyer about the outdoor part of the festival. From a distance, Yun watches this scene with growing jealousy, unable to hide his emotions. Meanwhile, Shira coordinates with others involved in her plan. Shortly after, all the water systems in the festival area are activated simultaneously, flooding the space. Rita happens to be standing exactly where she was directed. As a result, water splashes directly onto her face, completely washing away her makeup. Her acne becomes visible again and her carefully constructed appearance disappears in an instant. Shira immediately begins recording the situation on her phone, laughing along with the bullies as they mock Rita's humiliation. However, Sean reacts without hesitation. He rushes toward Rita and covers her with his jacket, shielding her from the eyes of others. At the same time, Yun steps forward and diverts attention by grabbing a guitar and beginning to sing, despite not having performed for a long time. His actions briefly shift the focus away from Rita. While watching Yun perform, Sean recalls the days when their band used to play together, united and full of passion. Without wasting time, Sean takes Rita away from the scene. He stays with her until she calms down, offering reassurance and emotional support. Shortly after, he receives an urgent phone call and has to leave quickly, apologizing briefly before departing. Rita thanks him and tells him she will be fine. Once alone, she reflects on everything that has happened between them, gradually realizing that she has developed genuine feelings for him. Later, it is revealed that Sean left abruptly because his mother's health condition worsened unexpectedly, which also explains why he previously disappeared during a dinner meeting. Later, while walking with Yun, Rita asks why he suddenly decided to sing at the festival. Yun recalls seeing her frightened and cornered earlier, hidden behind Sean, and felt compelled to intervene. However, he does not reveal this emotional reason and instead says he simply missed performing and being on stage. During this conversation, Rita tries to respond to something Yun had previously told her about his feelings for her compared to Sean. She begins to apologize, but Yun interrupts her, telling her that no matter what she chooses, he will always care about her and will continue to love her in his own way. Yun then explains Sean's personal situation in detail. Sean's parents separated long ago, and recently his mother suffered a stroke. Since then, Sean has become emotionally withdrawn, distancing himself from his band and focusing on caring for his mother whenever the nurse is unavailable. Rita realizes that Sean has been isolating himself out of responsibility and guilt, not indifference. Deeply affected, Rita rushes to Sean's house. He is surprised by her sudden arrival and she initially feels embarrassed, ready to leave. However, Sean stops her and asks her to meet his mother. Inside, she sees his mother's fragile condition. Wanting to bring comfort, Rita gently takes care of her hands, applying nail care and grooming them. Sean explains that his mother used to enjoy doing her nails regularly before her illness. This small habit had always brought her joy. Surprisingly, his mother reacts by slowly lifting her hand to admire the manicure, showing a rare moment of awareness and happiness. Sean is deeply moved by this unexpected response. Later, Sean confesses to Rita that he was afraid she might distance herself after seeing his family situation. Rita reassures him that she would never do that and tells him he deserves happiness. He then reveals that he has decided to move to America with his mother for treatment, as doctors have warned that her time may be limited. Although Rita feels sad about his departure, she supports his decision and wishes him well. After Sean leaves school to prepare for the move, Rita feels a deep sense of loneliness both at home and in her daily life. Despite this, she chooses to pursue her passion and enrolls in college to study beauty and makeup. Her friends support her decision and congratulate her for following her dream. While missing Sean and looking at photos of their time together, she unexpectedly receives a call from him. They meet again at Zoka's shop, where Rita tells him that seeing his mother smile after the manicure inspired her to pursue beauty more seriously. She also admits that she has grown emotionally closer to him over time. Sean confesses that meeting her helped him regain emotional stability after a difficult period. He asks her to always keep smiling no matter what happens in life. As a final gesture, Rita gives him her charm as a keepsake to remember their bond. 3 years later, Yun returns to the music scene, this time as a solo artist rather than part of a band. His popularity increases dramatically, making him even more famous than before. Rita regularly attends his concerts to support him. After one performance, Yun takes her away quickly to avoid crowds of fans and reporters. To escape the attention, he casually tells the public that he is in a relationship and unexpectedly points to Rita, declaring her as his girlfriend. At college afterward, people begin treating Rita as Yun's official partner. Meanwhile, she confides in him about a persistent admirer at school who keeps bothering her. Yun suggests she simply tell him she already has a boyfriend. Rita looks at him skeptically, realizing this solution might create even more complications given his fame. Later, at a social gathering, the same troublesome student appears again. Rita clearly feels uncomfortable as he continues watching her closely while others pressure her to drink despite her reluctance. The situation becomes tense, leaving Rita unsure how to handle the growing attention and emotional pressure surrounding her life. The story follows a girl named Rita, whose life begins in a state of emotional isolation and constant ridicule. At school, she is repeatedly bullied by her classmates who judge her harshly for her appearance. They mock her, damage her belongings, humiliate her in public, and even record her reactions just to laugh at her later. Over time, Rita becomes emotionally numb to fear and embarrassment. Instead of reacting to horror films with fear like most people, she laughs at them because real life has already shown her worse cruelty than anything on screen. Despite her painful environment, Rita accidentally discovers a different perspective on beauty and self-worth when she comes across online content created by a beauty influencer named Resita. This creator speaks about self-acceptance, confidence, and learning how to enhance one's appearance rather than hide from the world. For the first time, Rita begins to reflect seriously on herself instead of simply enduring her circumstances. She starts experimenting with skincare and makeup, initially copying tutorials without fully understanding how they work. Her early attempts are imperfect and inconsistent, but she refuses to give up. Gradually, she develops patience and curiosity. What begins as a simple attempt to change her appearance slowly turns into a personal passion. She becomes interested in cosmetics, skincare routines, hairstyles, and everything related to personal styling. She even changes her glasses for contact lenses and learns how to present herself with more confidence. During this transformation, Rita also changes her environment by transferring to a new school, leaving behind the classmates who bullied her. On her first day, her appearance and confidence immediately attract attention. Students are surprised by her transformation, and for the first time in a long while she is seen not as a target but as someone admirable. Her parents are also shocked by how different she looks, almost struggling to recognize the daughter they used to know. However, despite the external change, Rita's inner struggles do not disappear. At home, when she removes her makeup, she is confronted again with her insecurities. Her skin issues and self-doubt remain, reminding her that appearance alone does not solve deeper emotional wounds. Her family reacts differently to her transformation. Her father accepts her unconditionally, while her sister expresses cold skepticism, suggesting that people may eventually discover her real self. Rita continues living a double life, confident and admired at school but insecure and careful at home. She also begins visiting a horror-themed shop run by a man named Zoka, where she feels more comfortable expressing her personality. One day while there, she encounters a boy who unknowingly takes something important to her. This boy later turns out to be Sean, a student at her new school. Their meeting feels coincidental at first, but it quickly becomes clear that their lives are becoming increasingly intertwined. Sean is observant and intelligent, and he eventually discovers Rita's secret, that her appearance at school is carefully maintained and very different from her natural face. Instead of exposing her, he behaves unpredictably, sometimes teasing her and sometimes protecting her privacy. Rita, on the other hand, becomes anxious around him, unsure whether he will reveal her truth to others. At school, Rita tries to maintain her image while also dealing with social pressure. She experiences moments of panic whenever her makeup is threatened or when she feels exposed. Meanwhile, Sean begins to take an interest in her beyond appearances, noticing her personality, effort, and determination. Another student named Yun also becomes involved in Rita's life. Yun is part of a musical background and has his own complicated past with Sean. Their friendship was once strong but broke apart due to unresolved conflicts and personal struggles. Yun shows a different kind of attention toward Rita, more direct and emotionally honest, though sometimes conflicted. This creates a subtle emotional tension between the three characters. As time passes, Rita becomes more socially involved. She works part-time, continues studying, and slowly gains confidence in helping others with beauty and makeup. She even assists a girl named Ren, helping her transform for a school performance, which boosts Ren's self-esteem. Through these experiences, Rita realizes that makeup is not just a mask for hiding herself, but also a tool for helping others feel more confident. However, her past continues to catch up with her. Students from her previous school reappear and begin harassing her again. They mock her transformation and attempt to expose her natural appearance. At one point, they even film her without makeup to humiliate her publicly. This causes emotional distress, and Rita struggles deeply with shame and fear of rejection. Sean steps in during one of these incidents and protects her, confronting those who bully her. Yun also intervenes at times, creating moments where both boys indirectly support her in different ways. While Sean tends to protect her quietly and personally, Yun reacts more openly and emotionally. Despite these supports, Rita still struggles internally. She fears being abandoned or exposed, and she often questions whether people like her for who she truly is or only for the version she presents. Sean, however, gradually begins to show that his feelings for her go beyond appearance. He spends time with her, helps her study, and supports her emotionally in subtle ways. At one point, Sean reveals aspects of his personal life, including family difficulties and emotional burdens. He shares that his mother's health has declined and that he may need to leave to support her abroad. This creates emotional distance between him and Rita, but also deepens their connection. Yun, meanwhile, becomes more emotionally direct. He confesses his feelings for Rita, explaining that he has always cared about her and that he does not want to lose her to someone else. This creates a complicated emotional situation where Rita is caught between two people who both care for her in different ways. As misunderstandings and emotional tensions grow, Rita becomes overwhelmed. At one point, private photos of her without makeup are leaked, leading to public humiliation online. She isolates herself, feeling betrayed and exposed. Both Sean and Yun react strongly in their own ways. Sean encourages her not to give up, while Yun becomes frustrated and protective. Eventually, the truth behind the leak is discovered. It is revealed that multiple people, including individuals motivated by jealousy and misunderstanding, contributed to the situation. This leads to confrontations and emotional resolution among the characters. Some apologize while others come to terms with their actions and regrets. Through these events, Rita begins to rebuild herself emotionally. She starts accepting that she cannot control how others perceive her, but she can control how she values herself. She resumes her passion for makeup not as a disguise but as an expression of creativity and confidence. Sean eventually leaves for a period due to family circumstances, but later returns after resolving important personal matters. Yun continues pursuing his music career, gaining popularity and success. Despite the changes in their lives, all three characters remain emotionally connected in different ways. Over time, Rita grows into a confident beauty professional. She begins creating content, teaching others about makeup, and helping people improve their self-image. Her work gains recognition and she becomes respected in her field. More importantly, she learns to accept herself without relying on external validation. Sean returns and confesses that his feelings for her never changed. Rita also realizes that her feelings for him have remained consistent despite everything they went through. Yun, although emotionally affected, continues to support her from a distance, focusing on his career while respecting her choices. In the end, Rita and Sean acknowledge their mutual love and decide to stay together. Their relationship is no longer based on confusion or secrecy, but on understanding and shared experience. Yun also finds his own path forward, achieving success in music and expressing gratitude for the people who shaped his life.